It's the last working week for the Supreme Court before an extended summer break. And that means that we could hear rulings Monday on a number of key cases on topics like the separation of church and state, the actions of the U.S. Border Patrol, and President Trump's controversial proposed travel ban. Joining me now on set, Caroline Polisi. She's a legal analyst and criminal defense attorney. Okay, Caroline, so the Supreme Court could potentially take up this travel ban. What are you looking for?
Well, that's exactly right. Even though there are 6 remaining cases on the Supreme Court's docket, and we're likely to hear opinions on those cases on Monday, I think what everybody is more interested in hearing about is how and when really the Supreme Court is going to take up this issue of the travel ban. And the summer recess really complicates things procedurally, and here's why. The administration has asked the court to issue stays of those 4th and 9th Circuit injunctions. So a stay of those injunctions would mean effectively that the ban would proceed throughout the summer months, when the court then, pending the review of the overall case, which the court would take up in October, right? Wow. It doesn't reconvene until the first Monday in October. Now, legal scholars have noted that that could effectively moot the case come October, given the fact that, remember, this ban was meant to be a temporary ban in place, 90 to 120 days, so that the administration could review its policies and procedures. It was never meant to be long-term. So the other option the court has is to deny those stays coming out of the 4th and 9th Circuit, deny them in its entirety. The status quo would be maintained until a potential review in October. Now, this presents an issue because the longer this ban is on ice, the less of an argument can be made for implementing it to begin with. So it really is a question come down to what they're going to do over this break. Some scholars are saying they might not even look at it all. They might not even grant cert. So they might not even look at the bigger constitutional questions.
So that's an option.
That is definitely an option.
If that happens, Caroline, what happens to these Muslim immigrants if they're not back until October?
Well, everything would remain status quo. So the 9th Circuit's ruling and the 4th Circuit's ruling would simply stand. So they would say nothing to it. Some people are saying, you know, we see a new court with Neil Gorsuch here. Nobody's really sure what they're going to be doing. They may punt it down the road just so that they don't have to make a statement on it. Yeah. Who knows? We don't really know. It's also important to remember that they could issue statements piecemeal, right? We remember on Monday they issued this statement saying they were going to take up the Wisconsin gerrymandering case, and then just hours later we saw an opinion from them staying the lower court's decision. So there really is no playbook here. There's no timeline by which they have to decide it. Some are even saying potentially they could put off their summer vacation to hear oral arguments in July. I don't think that's going to happen, though. they like their vacations.
I bet you're right. And they deserve it. They work pretty hard.
They do.
If they don't take this up, is there anything the Trump administration could do in the interim before October?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, many critics are saying there's really no reason why this administration can't sort of walk and chew gum at the same time. That is, remember, again, this was meant to be a ban temporarily put in place so that the administration could review those policies and procedures. Now we're seeing the Trump administration really engage in some legal gymnastics in an effort not to moot this case. They're trying to separate out the ban and its review of those policies. However, that doesn't really make any sense, Rena, because we all know that the purported reason for the instatement of the ban in the first place was so that the administration could conduct this review. The clock is really ticking since the 9th Circuit's decision came out. The clock is ticking for the administration to move forward with those reviews of the internal vetting. Again, there's no reason why they can't move forward with the ban as it is, not instated.
You know, Justice Kennedy, there's been so much talk. Is he retiring? Is he not retiring? Yes. What are you hearing?
Well, many of Justice Kennedy's former clerks are coming out. They're all convening for sort of an end of the year celebration. So many are wondering whether or not Kennedy's going to step down.
Do they normally do this?
They do. Okay. So, they do. So, you know, but the rumors are really at a fever pitch here. And many liberals are terrified because, of course, what that means is that President Trump would get another SCOTUS appointee. And, you know, he already got Neil Gorsuch there. Kennedy really providing the swing vote in many of the court's cases throughout his jurisprudence. He penned the 2015 landmark case legalizing same-sex marriage, really a champion of liberal values there. On the other hand of the coin, he penned also the Citizens United case. So really, you can't pin down Kennedy's jurisprudence, but one thing is for certain, whomever President Trump would appoint to replace him would have a more consistently conservative jurisprudence, to be sure, which is why many are really terrified.
And liberals who have been concerned that there could be potentially as many as 2 more seats during President Trump's term that could shift the balance of the court.
Really, what people are saying is that it could really be the death knell for Roe v. Wade, which is a scary prospect for some.
Okay, lots to watch tomorrow in the Supreme Court.
Absolutely, bated breath.
All right, Caroline Polisi, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.